Quick disclaimer, the comments made in this podcast are not meant to be hurtful or insulting to the authors of the highlighted fanfiction. Any seemingly degrading comments are made in jest and are not meant to be taken seriously. Similarly, anything read as part of the fanfictions do not represent the values of the hosts.
Hello everybody, welcome to Pick a Fic. I am your host Micah. With me is my good brother Jason. Jason, how are we doing today?
I don't have a clever tie into a movie we just watched.
Wait, what was the last movie we watched? I forgot already.
On the podcast?
Well,
what was the...
I
did one about Epic, where I'm feeling epic, and then Ferdinand. I just had bullish.
Oh,
I said I'm feeling bullish or something.
Okay, yeah.
What's the last one? Oh, I'm feeling Bucky. Is that a phrase?
Oh, crap. That was the last one we watched.
We're done with Blue Sky.
Ish.
Asterisk.
Yeah. It's...
they're dead. They died. Spies in Disguise killed them. Good... not good riddance. Just
They were
riddance.
just fine.
Just regular riddance.
They were just fine.
They had the Peanuts movie. That's it.
Yeah.
Their existence was justified for them to make the Peanuts movie that one time. Every other thing they've ever done, whether like good, okay, which is most of them, or bad, is like I would have history repeat itself if I could control it, just so the Peanuts movie could exist. Because they had to make those bad things for the Peanuts movie to come around. Like because it's the butterfly effect.
It is.
I love thinking about that. It's like, what if Ice Age was like, what if all the Ice Age movies were like utter fantastic masterpieces, instead of like the first two being like decent and then the rest of them sucking? Like, would the Peanuts movie have existed? It probably wouldn't have. They probably wouldn't have needed to like.
Yeah.
I think they were seeking that stuff out. I think they were just like, all right, guys, we need to have our like big, old property done right moment. Like a lot of animation studios try to do, and I think that led them to like I doubt like whoever owns the Peanuts rights came to Blue Sky, and I doubt they could win in a bidding war against like anyone else. So I think they approached whoever owns the rights.
Well, I think it was more
maybe it's
like,
on the wiki.
I think it was more like Fox approached whoever owns Peanuts.
Oh, you think Fox
like,
just bid on the Peanuts movie and then they're just like, here you go, Blue Sky?
That's usually how it works when like with adaptation stuff like that. Like the studios come up first and be like, we want to make a movie out of this, and then they're just like, DreamWorks is busy right now, so we'll just have Blue Sky do it.
Production 2006.
Oh, wow.
Oh, because after Charles Schultz died, his son came up with the idea for a new Peanuts film.
Yeah, that movie's about to turn 10 years old this year. Because it released in 2015, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
The family, the son, was pitching it around, but his stipulation was he wanted the film to be under Schultz control, so that like the family control. Because I think it was him and his. So Craig Schultz, the son, and then Craig's son Brian. So the son and grandson were both in this. And then it says after that it just says like it was announced that 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky Studios.
All right.
Yeah. So, oh.
What is it?
This is interesting. Craig stating there is no one more protective of the comic strip than myself, chose Martino, the director, Steve Martino, as director because he showed faithfulness to literature in his adaptation of Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I didn't realize it was the same director.
What? Horton Hears a Who was just...
I'm clicking on Steve Martino.
He was...
He did Continental Drift. He did Continental Drift.
Oh
he did the
gosh,
Continental Drift. This sucks. Why does he suck sometimes?
What the heck?
He's doing an Untitled Peanuts film too. He's done 4 movies. He did
my
Horton Hears to Hugh. Why did I say it like that? Continental Drift, Peanuts movie, and then the Untitled Peanuts film. He did a couple short films. He was art director on Robots.
All right, so he's been around the neighborhood, let's just say, and
hold on, he has a section on critical reception in his Wikipedia. Horton Hears to Who, 76% Rotten Tomatoes. Continental Drift 37%, and then Peanuts movie 87%. But the Metacritic is insane. Horton is the highest with 71. Continental has 49, which is significantly higher than the Rotten Tomatoes at 37. And then Peanuts movie only is 67.
Why is Peanuts lower than Horton?
Yeah, like Metacritic, you suck.
I don't trust Metacritic. I don't trust Metacritic with movies.
I don't trust
only
Rotten
games.
I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes with movies, but if Metacritic is worse than them by giving
I'd
20% less, that's 20% less.
Well, here for games, I trust Metacritic. For movies, I trust IMDb.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much how I roll. Yeah. So we're a fan fiction podcast. And this fan fiction, I wanted to wait a little bit longer to show you this one, but I decided, and I don't know what else I'm gonna pick out for this week, so I did with this, and I couldn't help but think for the weeks now what kind of fan fiction this series has. So you can read the title and try to guess what it is. I don't think you can though. It's very
it's called Love Takes Time.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to give me like a little some narrowing down.
All right. It's a game.
A little more than that.
A game. It has
Yahtzee.
It's been
the Yahtzee fanfiction.
Whoa, dude.
Does the Game of Life have fanfiction?
Well,
what's a board game besides like D&D that would, like, not a tabletop game, but like a straight up board game that would have fanfictions? You think Uno has fanfictions?
Like I don't know. It's just like Uno. It's just like super memed at this point. So it's like there's gotta be like one out there. On the Game Boy Color game, they have little Uno mascots. Like they have little guys, mascots? If I remember correctly.
If I search Uno, will it come up? No, it's just a bunch of things in Spanish.
That's probably. Well, hey, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong.
There's the anime manga section, a book section, cartoons, comics, games, TV, plays, movies, and miscellaneous. Okay, let's go to miscellaneous. Go to the U. Well, there isn't a U. So there's no category, at least, based on Uno on fanfiction.net, but there's probably one out there.
All right,
in the wild. Okay,
next hint is a part of a series you're continuing playing.
I'm currently in the middle of the series.
Yes.
Well, that means it's not Star Fox. I finally finished that stupid freaking game series. I love it. That's not a series. Final Fantasy.
Oh yes, you're warm.
That's the only thing I'm like currently actively in the middle of. There's a lot of them I haven't finished, but I'm not currently in the middle of them. I just played like 1 or 2 and then just didn't.
All right, just click the link already.
Okay, I already did. Clicking the tab. Love Takes Time. Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
This is going to be the worst one. This is going to be our worst episode. This is going to be so boring. Nothing's going to happen. Unless they manage to do better than the game, which is so easy. It would be so easy to do that.
That's what I'm going... That was curious about. I'm like, is the author...
Hold up. It's by Rinoa. Rinoa wrote this.
Okay, well, that's not a good sign because Rinoa is such a dead character anyway.
Heartilly? Is that her actual name in the game?
Oh, gotta do some research.
Final Fantasy V Wiki. All right. I gotta say what I'm typing so there's no dead air. All right. Search for Rinoa. It is.
Oh, wow.
That's her actual name. heartily, this game isn't serious. This is the most unserious game.
This is the goofiest game ever.
So
you
for some
can't
context,
make this up.
I finally beat this game after like 30 years. It took so long because it was so boring. I didn't want to play it. Like what was it, like a week ago? Was it even less than that? It wasn't that long ago. So I finally beat it. So that unlocks this game as a potential fanfiction material that we can do. So okay, I'll finish reading the description. The direct continuation from the ending of Final Fantasy VIII. What happened after what they showed in the ending? Please R&R. Oh, is it rate and review?
Rate and review, yeah.
So characters are, or I think the ships are ships. Squall and Rinoa, and Selphie and Irvine, which that one, they're both like, okay, well, Squall and Rinoa, for those who haven't played the game, Squall is the main character. Rinoa is the girl they pretend he's in love with. He's not in love. They don't have chemistry, so they're not in love. But they pretend that they are in the game. And then Selphie and Irvine are two doofuses who just doofus off in the corner sometimes.
Team doofus.
They are. They're just team doofus. They just do goofy little things. They say goofy little lines, and then they have more chemistry than Squall and Rinoa do. So those are the two ships we're focusing on. It's K+, which is funny. Romance drama, obviously. 2 chapters, just under 4,000 words, a few reviews, and 3 favorites. It was published August 21st, 2001.
Yeah.
So 2 years after the game came out.
No, wait. 3 years.
3?
It was 98.
Oh, 98. I keep thinking 99.
Yep. So the newest Final Fantasy game was 9.
So 9 was, I don't think, it was 10?
I don't think. Oh, did they come to
Fantasy
that'd be insane.
X release. Why can't I spell? Release date. I'm so bad at typing. I've done it my entire life, and I'm so bad at it. July 19th, 2001.
Oh, wow. So
North America was December 18th, 2001. So it would have been... Oh, where'd it go? Okay, so it would have been out by the time it was published.
Yeah.
And they probably had played it by the time it was... Because it was updated last on March 3rd, 2002, which is 25 days away from my birthday.
The crazy thing is...
my actual, like, legit birthday. March 29th, 2002.
Yeah.
This was uploaded just before that.
Like, the crazy...
This is as old as me.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the crazy thing is that people were still thinking about Final Fantasy VIII at this time.
You can't forget.
And it's like... And you see, I already just, like, after I played the game, I just, like, moved on. Like, I
have a vendetta against this game, so I can't forget
I barely thought about this game at all. So I'm wondering... if the fanfiction community can write something better than the entirety of Final Fantasy VIII, which isn't hard to do, but these are Final Fantasy VIII fans, so who knows? All right, are you ready to get into this?
I'm pumped.
All right, so first we got to get through this author's note. All right, here we go. Author's note. This fic is something small that I wrote up one day. I wasn't planning to write it or anything. It was just something spontaneous. A crazy idea that popped into my head. I just wrote it because I simply had the urge to want to write something.
Bro's discovering what writing is.
It's continuation of what happened directly after the ending of Final Fantasy VIII. You know how Rinoa and Squall kissed at the end of the game at Balamb Garden? This is what happens to them and some of the other characters for the rest of the night directly after that bit. By the way, the title came from the song Love Takes Time by Mariah Carey. I thought that it kind of went with the way the quiz was feeling. The Quistis. Oh, how do you pronounce her name again?
Just say Quistis.
Quistis.
It could be Keistis, but that's the dumbest pronunciation I've ever heard.
I like Quistis better.
Quistis. It kind of like flows like Quistis, like, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of my blabber. On to the story already. Little winky face.
I kept reading that as bladder every time I would glance down and see blabber, and like my brain just every time.
Hashtag bring back the word blabber.
Blabber.
No one says blabber anymore.
Yeah, we're more of a yapper society, but we can blab a little bit.
Let's start blabbing right away with the first chapter. Love takes time. ... Rinoa and Squall held each other tightly after they had just kissed for the first time that night.
Suck.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I guess spoilers? Maybe?
Sucks.
Is this the end?
This already sucks.
I don't know. I just want to get out of the way. Squall was speechless. Never before he had ever experienced anything like that in his whole entire life. This new feeling, this new sensation. Ever since he was a little child, he has been void of most feelings that people would normally take for granted. He has spent most of his life shutting people out, but this night, he had reclaimed one of the most precious feelings he had lost.
Who's going to be Squall's inner monologue?
Who is going to be Squall?
I hate this guy, so I think I'll do him justice.
All right.
That's logic, I guess. What is this I'm feeling? It's strange, yet I like it. It must be what everyone calls love. I think I'm in love.
Rinoa leaned closer to Squall and whispered something in his ear. In turn, Squall whispered it back to her. They once again locked into a deep, passionate kiss. Once their kiss was over, they held each other close again, looking up at the stars and admiring their beauty. Squall? Rinoa whispered quietly.
Yes?
Squall whispered back, not wanting to ruin the moment. I was really scared today when I couldn't find you in the flower field where we were supposed to meet.
I was scared too. Inner monologue. Scared that I'd never see you again. I don't want to lose you.
Squall held onto Rio makes a triumphant return. Squall held into Rinoa even tighter. He never wanted to let her go. He was perfectly aware that he could have lost her that day, but he wanted to put that thought behind him as fast as he possibly could. Thinking about it was too painful for him, and he had already shown it before in the form of a single teardrop. All right, I want to
do we need to
recap what happened at the end of Final Fantasy VIII.
Maybe I'll put a little bumper at the beginning of this to just say like, hey, this has spoilers for Final Fantasy VIII, and also go watch the final cutscene.
Yeah,
this is literally like referencing like the flower field.
But if you don't have time for that, shenanigans ensue. I don't know.
So the Ultimecia, the queen sorceress, compressed time. And then when you defeat her, you uncompress time, and then they just waddle around like random scenes for like 10 minutes, and then they just don't, and then they're back at like the school doing a dance, and it doesn't make any sense.
That's pretty much it.
If someone complains about the end of Evangelion
was
and then likes this ending, they're stupid, because this ending makes no sense at all. Evangelion is smart. Okay, that's my anime nerd moment.
Well spoken. Anyway, okay, so back to the fiction. Not long afterward, Quistis.
Just say Quistis.
Quistis.
Say it how you've always thought it in your head when you read it.
Quistis slowly approached, totally forgetting that the couple was spending time together. She stood at the open doorway and looked at Rinoa and Squall with 1,000 different emotions running through her head at once. She was about to speak, but she held back. Knowing that she was intruding, she turned around and began to walk away.
Quistis,
Squall called out, ruining the fun moment he and Rinoa were just sharing. Quistis turned around. She was surprised. She didn't know that anyone had noticed her standing there, let alone Squall. He had actually noticed her and called her back. A man of little words. Squall Leonhart.
I think it's Leonhart.
Leonhart.
Freaking names, dude.
This had really shocked Quistis. Who's Quistis?
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. I love it. I wish you could name the characters in this game.
Like, you can name like 3, and then there's like it's just the Guardian forces after that.
Oh man.
I don't know, because there's gonna be Quistis, there's gonna be Irving, and there's gonna be Selfie.
All right, I'll be Quistis. Yes, Squall. Quistis finally managed to choke out.
What did you? It sucks. What did you want to say?
How did you know I was here? Nothing. It really wasn't important anyway. I'll just let you two get back to whatever you were doing. Quistis bolted immediately, avoiding any other follow-ups from Squall. Squall wondered why Quistis would react this way. She usually wouldn't do anything irrational like that. She's a respectable person, an ex-teacher. She once had authority over him. She even tried to be Elion's replacement at one stage.
Is it
Elon?
I always read it as Alone, but it could be Elone.
Oh my god.
Which sucks. So just do, or L1. I like that. That's the Hermione Hermione thing.
Yes.
I like L1.
She could have been like a big sister to him. Now that he was in charge of Garden, he had authority over her, and now that he had Riona, he didn't feel alone. He didn't really need a big sis anymore, but he'll always and forever remember Elone as one but Quistis. Quistis was unsure about how and what Squall would remember her as. She didn't want to know. In her mind, she had always imagined this to be bad. She didn't want to be hurt anymore. Riona held it into both of Squall's hands.
I guess we're just ignoring Quistis now.
I think we better call it a night. Squall nodded. He gave Riona one last embrace and proceeded to walk her to her newly acquired dorm room at Blob Garden. Headmaster Sid had given her a place to stay because someone had informed him about the mishaps with the Forest Owl's base. And the fact that Riona didn't really get along well with her father. No one was really sure if things were fixed up Riona and her father, but Sid just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to sleep out in the cold. Riona and Squall walked hand in hand towards Riona's dorm room. As they approached it, Riona stopped and turned to face Squall. She gently caressed his cheek with her hand. "Good night, Squall."
Good night, Riona.
They kissed one last time. Then Riona entered her dorm room, gently shutting the door behind her. Squall walked back to his own dorm room, thinking about the words that Riona had whispered to him earlier on. The same 3 words that he had whispered back to her that night. Those 3 words that he meant with all of his heart.
I love you. So she said I love you, then he said I love you. He didn't say too or as well or likewise. He just said the same thing. Like, this guy sucks.
He's
I hate
just
him.
drunk off of hormones.
I hate this guy. Keep going.
Selfie jumped around happily during the party, still wearing Ivory's hat.
Irving?
Irene. You see, in my head, I always heard it as Ivory.
You switched to I and R?
Yes. I do that a lot.
Like, okay.
That's it. When I was reading the text in the game, in my head it was just Ivory.
I like Irene better. Irving is just. It sounds like. I don't even. It sounds almost like Eugene and like Urkel like mixed together, like Irving.
It sounds like a vine, like a grapevine or something. Like a type of grape.
Like, this is the Irving grape from the Irving vine.
You can use it to make Irving wine.
Irving grape from the Irving vine to make Irving wine. It's like a nursery rhyme or something.
She was having the time of her life. She got what she wanted, peace and love for the time being. Things won't always stay perfect, but that didn't matter. Even though thinking about the future may be wise, focusing on the present was more important. Never let a good time pass you by, or you'll regret it when you think back on it later on. You will ask yourself why you didn't make the most of things when you could have.
Is this Irving? Okay.
Yes.
Selfie, baby. I'm sorry I was waving to those girls before. You know me, it's my nature to do something like that.
Irene whispered softly in Sophie's ear. Sophie turned around and faced Irene. At first, I'm going to do it. Yeah. At first, she looked mad and disappointed, but that shortly faded away. She was angry that he had waved at girls, but happy at the same time because he had the decency to apologize for his mistakes. He wasn't really a bad guy. Actually, he wasn't a bad guy at all. Sophie adored him. She was new to this feeling too. It seemed as if love was weaving its way around.
Do you want to be all the girls?
No, I was gonna do nose goes on Sophie.
Oh, I can be Selfie.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
It's okay, Irvy. Just don't do it again.
Selfish. Selfie bellowed childishly.
Oh, by the way, yeah, if you've never played this game, her name is Selfie with a PH, not like the phone Selfie. This was, remember, 98. Selfies, the picture didn't exist yet. This is Selfie with the PH, the character.
I mean, good for... I guess one thing I can give Final Fantasy VIII credit for is introducing to names I never thought I'd ever hear. So
it's some goofy names.
It's got that going for it.
That's like the only part of it that feels like a fantasy is the names of everyone. Like Squall, Leonhart. What? Yeah. That's such a main character fantasy name. Like, boy, Squall is such a dumb name. I hate saying it. I hate thinking it. I hate reading it. And yet that's the main name you see every time. Anyway.
Sophie ran up to Irene and gave him a big. Irene smiled.
Gave him a big?
He gave him a big. Irene smiled. He had feelings for Sophie, but hadn't actually admitted them to her yet. He was waiting, hoping to find out if she felt the same way.
Irvy, do you wanna... Oh, wait. Do you wanna, dance?
Sophie asked, while slowly letting go of Irene.
Sure, Sophie, I'd love to.
Irene replied enthusiastically.
I'd do anything for you.
Sophie dragged Irene in the middle of the dance floor. She clumsily tried to position them both into a dancing position. In the end, Irene took her hand and put his free hand on her waist. Sophie did the same. A familiar song played in the background. It reminded them of what had just happened earlier. The sorceresses, yeah. Yep. The battles, all of it. Something that they'll never forget. It would remain engraved in their minds for the rest of their lives. Those events had changed their lives.
Whenever sang my songs on the stage on my own.
Irene sung along to the song.
Whenever said my words, wishing they would be heard.
Sophie continued on. Sophie and Irene continued to dance to the song. Near the end of the song, Sophie rests her head against Irene's chest, as people would do when they're dancing with someone they had feelings for. Irene smiled again. He looked around and noticed that there were still girls staring at him. He would have waved at them, being the ladies' man he is, but having Sophie in his arms restrained him from doing anything stupid. He possessed strong feelings for her and didn't want to do anything to hurt her.
Shall I be the one for you who pinches you softly but sure? If frown is shown then, I will know that you are no dreamer.
As the song finished, Sophie and Irene slowly separated from the dancing positions. Sophie yawned as she put Irene's hat back on his head. Irene could tell she was tired from all the jumping around.
Selfie, if you're tired, you should get some rest.
Irene said to her, sounding concerned.
Okay, Irvy,
she said, following his advice. Being fairly tired out, Sophie began to walk away from Irene on the dance floor without thinking. Irene quickly grabbed Sophie's hand just before she left.
Good night, Selfie. Seffi.
Good night.
Seffi.
Yo, Seffi.
Seffi. That's my nickname for Sephiroth. And Irving's taking it for that stupid goober.
Didn't you? Yeah, you named your Sephiroth amiibo.
Sephiroth amiibo's named Seffi.
Oh my.
Although this is the opposite, where I think I made Seffi with a PH. This is Seffi with an F.
That's.
Why is a Final Fantasy VIII fanfiction from 2001 stepping on my toes, man.
Yeah, come on.
Get
Come
outta
on,
here with that
Rinoa, Wild
sappy
Heart,
stuff.
whatever your name was.
Don't name your online persona after a character from a video game.
Especially if it's a stupid name like that, honestly. Come on, person from like over 20 years ago.
She's one of like the 2 people you can name. I named her Klonoa.
Yep.
Because it was somewhat similar sounding, and you named her Rhino, which is way better.
Yeah. You really just take out the what? Wait, which word do you take out? Anyway.
One of them.
You wanted them.
The A. The A at the end.
Oh, yes.
Just Rhino.
That's literally what he did, yep.
That's funny.
Irene said to her, tipping his hat as a cowboy would do and kissing her hand.
Good night, Irvy.
Selphie replied enthusiastically with what energy she had left. Selphie stumbled towards her dorm room, which was quite close to Quistis and Riona's room. As she approached her door, she noticed something on the floor, a red rose. Selphie picked up the rose and smiled, knowing that it could have only come from one person, Irene. Selphie entered her dorm room and lay the rose on her desk, telling herself to find a vase for it first thing tomorrow morning. She then fell asleep peacefully with one thing on her mind. Irving. The party was finally over. Everyone.
Hold on.
Whoa! What? Whoa!
You're
what?
telling me that Irene or whatever beat her to her own room and found a rose somewhere? Nah, man, that was someone else.
Oh man. That's
my prediction. That is my game theory.
But who would it be?
Squall.
I was gonna say Sid.
Quistis. Dude, that'd be sick.
Cool.
Oh,
dude,
Quistis.
That'd actually be cool.
The Quistis Selphie Irving love triangle.
That'd be crazy because she doesn't have anyone.
Well, she has Squall, remember?
Well,
at like the very, very, very beginning.
Yes, but then
she just disappeared from the story.
Yeah, so I mean, she doesn't have anyone. So who knows?
Speaking of Quistis,
the party was finally over. Everyone was already asleep. Well, according to Quistis, everyone was asleep, but that wasn't necessarily the case. Quistis slowly walked up to the same balcony that Squall and Riona had been earlier. Only they weren't on it this time. She walked over to the railing and rested her elbows on it. I'm never going to find true love. I know it. But why? Why does it have to be this way? Is it me? Is it the way I act? What have I done? What have I done to deserve this? This loneliness. A tear trickled down her pale face. The wind blew through her bangs and made them sway along with the breeze. Quistis felt miserable. She felt as if something had been taken away from her. She felt as if she had lost something.
Gosh.
Squall, why didn't it work out? It's okay that you picked Riona, but why does it still hurt me?
Hey, buddy, do you want to know why? It's because you didn't make a move. You stood there and did nothing.
Like, they had one moment in the beginning of the game.
That was it. And then she didn't do anything.
And she didn't do anything
she's all
else.
like, why didn't he pick me? Oh my gosh, I'm so sad.
Like, that would have made the game somewhat more interesting if they had that, some sort of love triangle, which I guess would, kind of be copying 7, but...
7 was like, you chose who you were with,
yes.
so it wasn't really a love triangle as much as it was like, you could dictate who Cloud was quote unquote with, although it was very surface level. This game is just like, they introduced Quistis as like I immediately caught on like, oh, she's going to be a love interest. And then they dropped her from the story. She didn't do anything else for the rest of the game. She was in there. She was just in, like, every time it said pick your party members. I'm just like, why is Quistis still here? Like, I would just look at her like, what has she done? She hasn't done anything. She's done nothing. Because if you don't put these characters in your party actively, they don't do anything.
I'm still trying to think about what major thing she did in the game, and
she talked to Squall that one time. I don't even remember what it was about. She was all you're too closed off. You have to open up a bit. And then Squall's like, ugh.
You suck. Pretty much.
You should kill yourself now. I hate this. Keep going.
Quistis buried her.
Something's about to happen.
Quistis buried her face in her hands. She began to cry even louder, thinking that no one would be there to hear her.
Yo, Quisty!
Zell half yelled, "Please, Zell, just go away. I want to be alone right now."
Zup? Are you okay? What? Zup?
That is such a Zell
Mark
thing to
Zuckerberg?
say. Zup. Does it look like I'm okay?
Well, I guess not, but do you feel like talking about it?
No.
Come on, Quisty, give me a chance.
No!
Pretty please with sugar on top.
No!
Okay. I'll just leave you alone then. Jeez, this is the kind of trouble. What? This is the kind of thanks a guy gets for offering to help someone. I'm not gonna try to help anyone for the rest of my life.
Zell started to walk away, half slouching, like what he usually does when he just discovered that the cafeteria had just run out of hot dogs.
I had a good hot dog today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You told me.
The mall has to. I went to the mall because I was like, oh, I want to go to the. Anyway, there's a hot dog stand that's new. It's like a French hot dog. It's like a toasted bun that wraps around the whole hot dog. Mm-hmm. Think of it as like a corn dog, but it's like toasted, and it's like actual bread. It's like an actual bun.
Yeah.
But it's like fully cylindrical. That was a good hot dog.
I really want to try it. We need to go to the mall
right now.
The mall is back, everyone.
Yeah, we can actually just stop recording this and go to the mall.
We can just go to the mall.
There's another chapter.
Because that's the next closest GameStop we have, because the one near us closed down.
Oh, that is the is it the closest one? Oh.
That was the closest one by the Target.
I didn't go in yet.
I looked at it, and yet the sign was gone, everything.
I saw some people walking out of the GameStop, and they didn't have any games. They just had merchandise. Just like, okay.
Bro, what are we doing? What are we doing
I'm
here?
stalling because I don't have to read this anymore.
Zell, wait! Quistis called back. Zell turned around and walked back towards Quistis. He walked to the rail where she was and leaned over it.
You gonna talk to me now?
He asked. Yes, sorry about that scene back there. I guess it was unfair of me to not give you a chance.
It's okay. Let me guess. Something to do with Squall, right? ... Thought so. You really liked him, didn't you?
Quistis nodded. There was no point in denying it. She had strong feelings for him. She was confused.
Quisty, you have to learn to forget about him. Things change. He's moved on. So should you too.
It's not that easy.
Inner monologue.
It's not that easy letting go of someone you loved.
Quisty, think about it this way. By letting him move on, you just made him happy.
He does have a point. But is it the solution I'm looking for? No, that's not it. I don't even know why I'm sad over this. I'm not sad because I lost Squall. It's because I'm lonely. Maybe Zell is right. I should just try to move on. I should get up and take action instead of just sitting here and letting time pass by.
Kiss. Quisty?
Zell asked, waving his hand in front of her face. It had disturbed and broken her chain of thought. Okay, I'm just imagining like the pre-rendered like CGI cutscene where it's like 15 frames per second, just choppily, like
all you see is the motion blur.
Thank you, Zell, Quistis replied.
You're welcome, Quisty. Glad to know that I talked some sense into ya. Didn't I?
Quistis laughed. Yes, Zell. Your consolation is greatly appreciated. Quistis smiled and walked away.
I didn't kiss.
Oh man.
This sucks. There's more?
This sucks.
Why is there more to this?
It's only one more.
This one looks shorter. Let's go. Just keep going.
Oh boy, it's a lot. Okay.
Author's notes.
Author's notes. First of
2.
all, there's an update. I fixed a few lines somewhere in the fake surprise face. I made a mistake. And then here's the author's note. Okay, I wasn't originally planning to add another chapter to the story, but I felt like writing again. I'm perfectly aware that there can be too much of a good thing, but I just wanted to add this anyway.
This is way too much, guys. You gotta stop, man. It's so good. It was so good before. You gotta stop now.
All right, here's chapter 2, Letting Go. Night had already come to Win Hill.
No!
Wait, what's Win Hill?
I read ahead. I I don't want to do this. Just keep going.
Okay.
faster.
But no, what's Wind L?
Go faster.
Besides the
You'll know
whisper
soon
of
enough.
the claim of the calm. Besides the whisper of the calm winds through the trees, all was silent and still. The stars, just visible behind the light cloud cover, stretched across the night sky, leaving milky dots of light amidst the majestic brilliance. All was calm, peaceful, and serene. From a distance, a small town would even seem picturesque.
Picturesque?
Picturesque.
Okay.
Picturesque.
Do you want to take this?
Oh boy, Laguana.
Laguana?
That's what you see in my head. That's what I named. That's what I in my head.
Sure.
So.
Laguana. We'll go with that. His actual name's Laguna, if you don't know what we're talking about.
No one watches this anyway. But we can make our own rules.
This is going to be the one that gets 100 views for some reason.
Why do you guys talk? And I'll be like, you are correct.
The only comment is like, why do you suck? Be like, cuz.
Cuz. ...
Or do we?
Ooh, that's a good one. All right. Did you want to be Laguna?
Not particularly. I'm running out of funny voices to do. Okay. I can just do like, no.
No, I'll be him.
You got it.
Yep. How do you Rain?
Yeah.
Rain. Okay. Rain. Laguna Lori walked away from his peaceful surroundings towards the outskirts of town. He knew exactly where he was going, yet he didn't know why he had the sudden urge to want to be there. It would remain a mystery for now. He decided that he would figure it out when he got there. I'm all alone. Laguna approached Rain's grave once again and knelt beside it.
Context, his wife dead.
He almost felt drawn to it. He had been there earlier on that day, only this time no one was there to keep watch of his actions. He was now free to let out all his emotion. Now he remembered why he wanted to be there so badly. This is just Days Gone. He keeps going to the dead wife's grave and he's just talking to it and he's just being all creepy.
Deacon St. John.
And he's all like,
I'm here to shoot zombies and
it's just
hang out with Bacon, or what's the guy's name?
Boozer.
No, Boozer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was like beer or something. It was like
I can't wait for the Days Gone fan fiction. Oh boy.
Gosh.
Stay tuned, everyone.
You're not allowed to pick that. I have to pick that.
Okay.
I have to make you suffer like you're making me suffer.
I miss you. He ran his hand he ran his hand along the cold headstone.
Just really rubbing it in there.
He ran his hand along the cold headstone, feeling the stone's texture beneath his fingers. Upon his hand, a golden ring glistened in the moonlight. It was his wedding ring. It was identical to the one his wife Rain had. Why did you have to go? Laguna, although it seemed to be all masculine and tough, wasn't all that he seemed. He had another side, which not many people would have seen. It was too well hidden from the outside world. He had kept this side hidden only until he could no longer hold it in. It would remain hidden until he felt it was time to open it up. It was too late now. He had no choice but to show it. There was no point in fighting his feelings now. Why? A teardrop trickled down his cheek, leaving a streak of salt water tracing the path where the teardrop had just passed. The tear left its face and dripping into Rain's headstone. The teardrop left a small marking on the stone, a discreet reminder that feelings and emotions can overpower even the most physically strong individual. I love you! Laguna closed his eyes and reminisced the good times he had spent with Rain, keeping in mind that they would never happen again. No matter how much you want it to happen, you can never relive the past. Yet you can never escape it. It will always remain as a memory deep in your mind, deep in your heart. A faint noise could be heard close by to where Laguna knelt. The distant sound of footsteps, yet Laguna chose to ignore it. He would rather spend his time with his wife, his dead wife. He bowed his head down and closed his eyes.
Laguna.
A voice called, floating to Laguna with passionate winds.
Passing winds.
Laguna jolted his head up. The voice seemed so familiar, yet he couldn't place where and when and where he had last heard it. Rain? It can't be, or can it? Rain? Laguna managed to choke out. Still crouched in his kneeling position, he turned around and looked at the mysterious figure.
No.
Sighed. He sighed.
Sorry. I jumped.
No.
That's me.
Oh, that's her.
We're jumping. We keep jumping each other. No. It's me.
Elone. It was Elone. Though that's why he had found a similarity to the voice he had heard. Although it wasn't the person he expected. He could see why he had mistaken her voice for Rain's. Elone wasn't physically Rain's daughter. But that didn't matter. They were so alike in most aspects that you would mistake them as a blood-related family at first glance. Sometimes they would even appear to be the same person. In Laguna's eyes, he saw so much of Rain in Elone. What are you doing up so late, Ellie? Laguna lectured.
I think it's supposed to be L.
Oh.
Or maybe not. Just shut up. I don't know. Shouldn't I be asking you the same thing?
She retorted. Ellen walked towards Laguna. Straight away, she had noticed that he had been crying. Being the kind of forgetful person that he is, Laguna had forgotten to wipe away the teary streaks on his face. Laguna turned away, trying to conceal his emotions. He was embarrassed to be seen in such a state, although Elone had already seen him through much worse. ...
You really miss her, don't you?
Elone asked, stating the obvious facts. I loved her, Ellie, Laguna answered. With all my heart. I know, no, I did too.
That's mine.
Was that? Oh. I don't know.
You have to specify when you're in a monologuing, because the audio-only people can't tell.
I'm sorry, audio people. I'm sorry.
I know. I did too. She doesn't anymore.
Ellen walked over to Laguna and knelt down beside him. She glanced at the headstone with her mother's name written on it and bowed her head down in respect. She then looked at Laguna. His face was lit up by the moonlight. His smooth face was still streaked with tears. Although he was now older, the only thing that seemed to change about his appearance was the color of his hair, and the fact that he has now tied it up. His facial features were still amongst the same, except for the fact that he now had extra lines and grooves on it, signs that he was getting older.
But why did you come back here? You were here earlier today.
Elone asked him. I missed her again. Inner monologue. It's hard letting go. Laguna's eyes began to tear again. Elone gave Laguna a hug and a shoulder to lean on. She was perfectly aware how hard it was to let go. She knew exactly how he felt without him having to say a single word. They had shared the same feeling together, as Rain was something special to both of them. She had once played an important part of their lives. I can still remember when I had first asked her to marry me. I thought earlier today, I can still remember where I asked her. It wasn't far from here, although I forget many things one I would never forget, Laguna told Elone.
I can still remember so many things about her too.
Oh my god, so much. Laguna and Elone sat amongst the damn grass under the night sky.
Sounded like you said damn grass.
The goddamn grass on the goddamn night sky, exchanging their stories. So many memories to share.
The fucking night sky. Share your fucking story.
So many fucking memories to share. All of which they shared together. They laughed and reminisced together. Sometimes sharing memories with other people is much better than remembering them by yourself.
That's you.
Okay, I really do miss her, Ellie, but I'll never get her back.
But we'll always remember her and all the fun we had together, right? That's the important thing. We shouldn't dwell on how much we miss her. We should concentrate on the time we spent with her. It hurts less that way.
I guess you're right, Ellie. Alone smiled at Laguna. She had grown up from the first time her and Laguna had met. She was now older and much more mature.
Wow.
She was now fully
amazing.
capable of taking care of herself. At one point in her life, Laguna took care of her. He was a role model to her, a father. Now that she was old enough to make her own decisions, Laguna need not interfere with her doings unless called for.
Well, I'm gonna head off now. Take care of yourself.
Elone informed. Okay, you too, Ellie. Laguna gave Elone one last hug and thanked her for counseling him. After Elone had walked back into the safety of the town, Laguna once again bowed his head down and closed his eyes. He once again thought about Rain and what Elone had said. He had realized some things that he didn't see before. He wasn't entirely ignorant, but there were still things he had overlooked. Inner monologue. Although you're gone, you'll always be remembered. Your memory will live on forever. There's no longer any need to keep reminding myself that you're gone. All I need to remember is that while you're still with us, I loved you, and I still do, and I will never forget the time we spent together. Laguna took one last look at Rain's headstone. This time, instead of crying, he smiled.
Yay.
It was time for him to let her go. She will forever be remembered, but now he can let go of the pain. Laguna looked at the wedding ring on his hand. It had faded enormously throughout the years and lost its brilliant shimmer. Although Rain had passed away many years ago, he still wore it as a reminder that she was once a major part of his life. Laguna slowly took off the ring off his hand and clutched it in his palm. This is for you, Rain. Laguna carefully placed the ring on the edge of Rain's headstone. He then stood up, took one last look of Rain's final resting place, and walked away, leaving all the pain behind.
We did it. It's done.
Yeah, now that wasn't so bad, was it?
It sucked.
Yeah, no. Final Fantasy VIII fans still can't make a better story.
No, this was almost worse because they're just adding character traits.
Yeah.
Because these characters don't have character traits, so they just have to add them, and I don't like the ones they added into them.
Yeah, it was just like, man. It was just like
Man.
I mean, it was just really just not. I was hoping for some like, I don't know, squall action, some
Not enough
Wistis,
squall, to be honest.
Wistis action. You know, I didn't care about Laguna or anything. Like, he didn't.
Yeah, Laguna's stupid. Why is he in this?
Like, I mean, you know.
I like Laguana better. It sounds like a big iguana.
Yeah, that's kind
funny.
of what I went for.
But you can't name them.
Nope. So, but I will find another one that will be better. It has to be better.
The quest to find a good Final Fantasy VIII story.
A lot of the ones I was looking at were just crossovers of Final Fantasy VII and VIII.
That'd be interesting to see how like they could see just how much better the 7 characters are, and like explore that part of it.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to have like, you know, half of it good and half of it bad instead of all of it being bad. So
on a cringe factor, I give it a 3. On a entertainment, I give it a 1.
Cringe, I give it like a 2. I don't know think it was that bad, but entertainment, yeah, like a 1.
And like it's a lot about the source material. I don't like this game.
Like, wow, it takes place 15 minutes after the ending of the game.
But nothing like this could have been combined into one chapter in like half the length, and it would have gotten the same amount of. Like, it was a lot of like fluff.
And it was just like them going to the dorm rooms. That's literally what it was.
It was like a 5-minute interval told in like 30 minutes, and it's like, okay, do you really have to do that?
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, the second chapter too, with this paragraph where it's all just like, Laguna like was hiding something, and it's just like, what? Like it just kept describing the same thing in different ways.
It was
just like he had another side which not many people would have seen. It was too well hidden from the outside world. Like those are the same thing.
Like why do we need that?
Why does he have to have a hidden side? And why does it do it think he's masculine and tough? Like he's not. He's goofy.
No, he's a goofball.
He's fun. He's not like masculine. He's not like I'm Doomslayer. He's like he's obviously in love with this girl who's at the piano or whatever, and then like everyone makes fun of him for it. He just kind of rolls with it. That's what he does. He doesn't sit there like, ugh, man, ugh.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode of Pick a Fic. Be sure to like and review, do the things, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.